All right, we should be recording now. So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Alan Hill, and today we're going to be talking about how to find a list of companies in your area that match the industry that you are interested in working in. I think one of the things that I get asked fairly often is, how do I find a list of companies? So you're going to tell me to network with companies that maybe aren't posting jobs, and these mid-level companies don't often promote their jobs or don't often post on websites. Well, then how am I going to find them if I don't know where to look? And that's a valid question. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you a tool that I use to find companies, and it's by SIC Code. And so where I'm at right here, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay. This is the Hennepin County Library, and each county probably has something similar. So I would recommend you to check with your librarian or your county library to make sure. But the database we're going to use, it used to be called Info USA. And for the Hennepin County Library website, which is hclib.org, hclib.org, you go here to browse and then online resources. And that takes you to this tab. And then what I do is I search by USA, because I know that's what the name used to be. It's now called Reference Solutions instead of Reference USA. So when you click on this link, it'll actually ask you to log in with your library card. I've already done that for this demo. But if you have issues connecting, you can reach out to your librarian or contact them to get your library card. This one requires a PIN and a library card to be set up. But this is a very easy search to do. You go to US Businesses, which is in this case is the top left. And immediately we're going to go to advanced search, because the theory here is we don't know the company name or the city or state. We may know those, but we don't know exactly what we're looking for. So there's something called an SIC code that I want to share with you, and it's right here, SIC or NAICS. What these are is these are groupings. The government classifies every industry by a code, and that's, I'm sure, no surprise for those of you that have been in the military. So the trick is knowing which one is which. And so I'm going to show you, you can actually look for SIC codes. And actually, let me try to find you a reference. What SIC code for manufacturing? And so here it's telling me that if I wanted to look for a manufacturing industry company, the SIC code for that would be 3999. Now, I keep saying SIC or NAICS. What is the difference? Basically, one's newer. One's more descriptive, I guess I'll say. The NAICS code is the newer one, and it's supposed to be replacing the SIC code. I don't know when that'll be. They don't discuss that with me, so I can't give you an update on that. But as you can see, the the NAICS code is a little more broken out here by fabricated structural metal, plate work, metal window and door, sheet metal work, and they've all got different NAICS code. In our search, we can actually search by NAICS or SIC. I'm going to do SIC code for sake of demonstration, but I would actually encourage you to use the NAICS because it's a little more, I think they've included a little more modern technology in there and services that you may not find in the SIC code. So let's see what we want to do. I'm going to do manufacturing. So here we have a results list of all sorts of different SIC codes. manufacturing containers, manufacturing chemists, manufacturing quality consultants, machinery equipment, fuel tanks, engineering, and electronics. So for sake of this argument, I'm going to pick manufacturing electronics. And then as you can see, it dropped it down there. We can do more. There's certainly no reason not to. But if you're going to focus your efforts and results and networking, I'm going to recommend that you stick with one at a time, because what's going to happen is we're going to download these, and it's nicer to keep them all grouped together, I think. So you have a separate list for each. You can sort and filter if you're an advanced Excel user, but either way that you prefer. So then what we can do is we can do a metro area search, a city and state search, or a radius from a zip code, or a county search. So let's just say that we wanted to work in the Hennepin County. There we go. Where'd it go? Hang on. There we go. So we're going to select Minnesota. And Hennepin County. So what this is going to give us is all the electronics manufacturers in Hennepin County. And that's a good search. We could limit it by number of employees or sales volume, which are appropriate, but I like to use those when I'm actually sorting my results. So I like to capture everything. So I don't actually try to limit it here. This is more, in my opinion, this is more for if you know the target, like say you were making a sales call and you knew that your ideal company had a certain number of sales volume, then I might consider using this. What we're trying to do is identify companies, right? So, maybe we might consider a company that has 10 employees and high profit margin. We don't know. We don't know until we see it. So that's why I'm not going to select it out. As you can see, there's a bunch of other searches here. Special selects by web address, year established. Again, for our purposes, none of this is going to help us at this point because we're assuming that we don't know the company. If you wanted to get detail on a specific company, this is also a very useful tool because you can get, as you can see, you can get the executives, you can get the sales volume, you can get the foreign parent information. So you can get a lot of good info on a particular company, but maybe that's a good approach for a second search. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit update count, and that gave us 36 records, and then we're going to view results. And so as you can see here, here's the listing of all the companies that are listed as an electronics manufacturer. Now, some of these I'm not sure about, right? Broman's Luggage. I don't know how they got electronics manufacturing in that, but maybe it's one of those new luggages that have the battery in it, and maybe that's why they're counting it. But we've got Advanced Circuits. That would be a good one. That's in Maple Grove. Here we've got, I don't know, Burgess Industries, but here they are on Boone Avenue, and that could very well be something that's viable. Circuit Check. What I like to do with these is I like to sort them as a next step. And this is a little bit of a trick. If you see, I clicked on this drop down right here, and it doesn't show it because it only shows these column headers, but there's actually more column headers, employees and sales. So we're going to sort this by employee or by sales. And then what you have to do is you have to click on the column header of sales to sort it. So here we see in Hennepin County, the largest sales volume company is SICK Inc. in Bloomington, Minnesota. Now, I'm not sure, but I would imagine LG Electronics is probably a distributor of electronics. They're probably not a manufacturer. So again, that probably might not be an ideal one. But, oopsie, go back here. What we can do is now that we have this data, we've got our list. So this is a list of companies that, in this case, we might want to target. And there's 2 pages here. Obviously, there was 36 companies. So now what we can do is we can actually download these. And this is where we actually get them into our computer, and we can start referencing them. And you click on this box right here, and that selects all the records. And I'm just going to make sure that that actually does that. Let me go to page 2. Yeah, I think you got to actually select them on both pages. Yep. And then you can click download.
I can't be honest, so I'm gonna go slow.
And so then what you do is you go ahead and I'm going to pick summary. If you pick detailed, you get a lot of data. Not all of it is helpful. You get several fields that are, it'll make your Excel spreadsheet really large. But I'm going to do commented limited. I don't have Excel on this computer, though, I just realized. But what you can do is download that. And I won't be able to open this because I don't have it in, I don't have Excel on my computer. But as you can see, you can get all the information that you want, such as potential job listings, and then also the industry profile and executive contact names. So here's a list of executive contacts right here: regional managers, directors, and managers. So here's a list of people that you can start connecting with on LinkedIn and reaching out to. Now, before you saw this, who here ever heard of SICK, Sic Companies? All right, there we go. I saw one. So I guess, Ali, between you and me, that makes 2 of us, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're right down the road from us.
Right. And so at this point, I'm going to let everybody give feedback. What questions do you have, or what didn't I make clear in this demo? What do you need to see?
So you might want to point out that it's not updated when things change, it's updated annually. So the leadership may not actually be the same.
Thank you. Other questions or feedback or comments?
I guess you're saying it's SICs by company. I mean, like say you're an accountant or programmer, where it's not really limited by industry or company that way. You search that way too, or?
So SIC code is standard industrial classification, and it's a classification of the industry, not necessarily the company per se. Companies will have several SIC codes, depending on the lines of business they have. But if I think I'm answering your question correctly, as you can see here, we've got treasurer and IT executive, right? So if I was in IT and I wanted to work in the manufacturing industry, right, my profession would be IT. I might want to reach out to Steve or, somebody on his team. Did that answer your question, Mike?
Yeah, kind of just get an idea of how you search differently for different things like that. Okay.
Yeah, this is a search by industry. So this is something that I think Mike Pavick might be interested in. Is here's a competitors report. So this is a listing of industry competitors in their primary field. So here's a listing of other companies in the area that you might want to check out as well. If you're very interested in whatever it is that SIC manufactures, here's a listing of their competitors you might want to check out to see how they stack up in the industry.
That can save a whole bunch of work right there alone.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're doing 10K research or something like that, this is a shortcut. So what do you think? Is this helpful? Is this useful?
This is awesome, Alan. I just wish I remembered all the steps. Do you have them written down at all? I mean, I was kind of taking notes as you were going through, but I love this resource.
Well, thankfully I recorded it this time, so that way it's going to be on our YouTube
Perfect.
channel.
Good.
So,
Perfect.
yep. Yeah, I've demoed this like more than once or twice, so I felt I'd probably be best to have a recording of it so that we could share it with others. Because this is such a handy resource to have that we have available to us that's free. There's no reason not to make maximum use of it.
Now I just have to find my library card.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, on that point, I didn't demo it because it was the point where it was logging in, but it shows, and I did this with another guy, was if you don't have a library card, you can get a 30-day card. You can apply for it online right there.
Perfect. That's great.
And actually, the Bloomington Library is open now.
Oh, is it? Nice.
So is the Edina.
So I'm just curious if they've got a summary of Broman's luggage. Luggage retail. See, this is their primary industrial classification. I have to confess, I don't know how they managed to classify themselves as electronic equipment supplies. That might be something to be worth checking out. I mean, I'm sure nobody's that interested in it, but at that point, I would recommend going to their website and seeing what they're manufacturing that's electronics. It could also be a subsidiary. But here's the point, right? No job listings found for Broman's luggage. Well, if they're a growing company, I guarantee you they're hiring, but this proves that they're not posting them. Certainly not on Indeed. And this is the ideal type of company that you're looking for, one that's not advertising, but's growing. Because that means there's less competition for you and they're more open to networking and connections. I wonder what Dennis Burgess does. See, the business profile is not available here. But he's claiming 3,720,000 in sales, but 25 employees. So this may or may not be a target for somebody, right? But nonetheless, there's a listing of all the executives to reach out to. I doubt there's going to be any company news. Oh, interesting. Company news.
Did you say 325 million with 25 employees?
No, 3.7 mil.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah. I'm sure if they were at that sales volume, that wouldn't be electronics they were selling.
The most efficient organization on the planet.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
Definitely not government.
It looks like they might be into some sort of like manufacturing of retail display systems. Could be based on some of this news that I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting that it looks like they're probably a international company, maybe.
Yeah, because if you scroll back up where the list of names was, it was Western Europe, Scandinavian. Yep. So this might be like the U.S. sales office for,
right,
you know, a foreign type company.
Yep, could very well be a subsidiary of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So was this helpful? Was this useful? Was there something that I missed that we want to share?
I like it, Alan. I mean, just like you said, it gets you a little bit further than where you would be without it. You know, I like your anecdotes of the SIC codes. Just like you said, it takes a while for them to get updated. So, I mean, just an example of that is 10 years ago, how many things have had batteries? now how many things have batteries in them,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
Wi-Fi connections and.
correct. So it probably isn't going to be the greatest for accuracy. However, just like you're showing here, now we know about companies that we didn't know 20 minutes ago, and that
Right.
arms you for understanding what it's about and making a quick decision, yes or no.
Yep. And so if we wanted to,
To be able to search more of those codes, you can look up on ONET and find out some more codes for different companies also.
there,
So
Industries.
And if you
Using-
don't know how to use ONET, sign up for E2020, and I'm teaching a class on it on Thursday.
nice. I love
That
it.
worked out great, gents.
Here's a short SIC lookup tool. And I've not, this is a new one on me. I've not seen this before, but let's go to M for manufacturing. Macadamia nuts. Okay, interesting.
Macaroni.
Real specific, very specific codes here. But as you can see, this is a useful tool, but I do recommend knowing your SIC codes from Google or from other resources before you come in here.
Ellen, I wonder if we have time and if there's someone on the call who has a specific industry that they're targeting, we can maybe reset, start over and use someone as a live example to just kind of go through the process one more time. I don't know what your time frame for today's call is like.
I'd be happy to do that if we have a volunteer. Is there anybody that's on the line that is in active job search and has a industry that they're interested in learning more about?
Or finding companies within the industry?
No? All right, this looks like it was a great demo then.
Only shy people came to the call today.
All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my screen share. And then I'm going to stop the recording.